Well, hello, my friend. Welcome to Breakfast with Sergio. Today's episode, I want to talk to you about the evolution of art collecting. Well, hello, my friend. Welcome to Breakfast with Sergio. I'm waiting here for my daughter to take her to school today. And yeah, she needed a ride. So I want to, in the meantime, kind of do my breakfast here with you. And I want to talk about, how art collecting has changed over the last 3 decades. I still remember a day before the internet, not before social media, but before the internet, right? That's when I was a student and I was kind of entering into the art world. And I remember the day, those days where galleries, in order to sell art, a collector had to actually walk in the door, have a conversation with the galleries, and then, through that process, sell a physical object, the work of art, directly to a collector. Or maybe the collector received a postcard over the mail, and it's a gallery that they trusted, they were interested, they would have to call the gallery, and so on. Then the internet came about. So I remember, at the beginning of internet, again, before social media, the internet, www, that galleries at the beginning were reluctant about jumping in and putting their inventory online. Eventually, that became more of a norm as galleries began to really see the value of the web. But really, online sales were very minimal, and only a few galleries were really going for online sales, online market. And again, still the web was mostly used for promotion, for like the digital business card, where you could go to a website, find out what shows were coming up, maybe see a couple samples of work, but that's about it, right? And that continued to evolve, as more galleries began to jump in the web, and the web began to also to grow and become more robust in the things that it could actually offer to businesses, such as galleries. But then the social media came about, and social media kind of came to change the whole game for everybody, because now all of a sudden collectors had quick access to the artist himself or herself, to the artist studio. Collectors had first look into what was happening in the studio, in the artist's life, and so on. So galleries had no choice but also to jump into that wagon and begin to use social media, to promote their programming, the works that they have available, and so on. And well, you have seen that grow, over the last 10 years to where we are at now, where galleries have to have an online program, a social media program, in order to really be up to date with what's happening in the art world today, and for collectors to find them and to be able to make business, as a gallery. Now, platforms that evolve, over the last 10 years or so, have been evolving and growing, and more recently with the last 5 years, for artists, Sachi Art, right? A platform where artists can sell direct from that platform without having a gallery representation. And then also artsy.net and artnet, as to platforms exclusively for galleries. So galleries can, sell directly online from those platforms. So what that allows is a gallery to upload their inventory, make it available, to collectors. And the way those platforms began, they began pretty much as an index of available work, but sales were not really happening through the platform, right? When you look at how Artsy used to function just a few years before or ago, if a collector wanted to purchase a work of art, they had to click on a button that said inquire. The inquiry then would be sent to the gallery. The gallery would receive that inquiry, reply to that inquiry, contact the collector, and then go from there. So RC was kind of like just the middle contact, but really not the transaction, not where the sale actually happened. Well, that also evolving within the last 2 years. For example, Artsy and other platforms like Artnet and so on also began to develop tools to actually make the transaction online, and they began to experiment first with buy now button. So the buy now option allowed the collector to actually look at the work that they wanted and then just click and buy. And many galleries at the beginning, I remember, were reluctant about this. They didn't think that collectors would want that. That collectors kind of wanted like that personal attention, or in the gallery to be in contact with the collector first and inquire and so on, have that conversation and then make the sale. Well, when RC began to test, the buy now feature, it actually was very successful. And then they released it to all the accounts, to everybody, where is now a norm for a gallery if they want to have their inventory on Artsy or Artnet, where they can just click and buy now, and immediately it's a transaction where the platform collects the money, and then all the gallery has to do is just send the artwork, right? Same as it will happen, for example, in Saatchi Art, if you're an artist selling directly from Saatchi Art without a gallery, where the collector can pick the artwork, buy it there, and then you just ship it directly to the collector. So those are some ways in how the buying, the collecting has changed, right? Because all these new features that have been added, and the conveniency for the collector to make the purchase. Now, for example, on Artsy, you have, as a gallery, you have 3 options. When you put an artwork on the platform, you can select if you want to have the artwork to be inquired, or buy now, or even the newest one, which is make offer, or it could be a combination where it's buy now and make offer. So where the collector, if the collector sees a work that he or she likes, can actually say, well, I'm gonna make an offer, and so the gallery has a couple days to either counter offer that with another number, or accept the offer and ship the artwork to the collector. So what does that mean for us as artists? Well, I think what it means is that, as we see a new wave of collectors coming into the market, who are very savvy about buying online, collecting online, searching for artists online, finding artists online. The importance to be online, to have a clean presence as an artist, a clean brand. If you're an independent artist without a gallery, then making sure that, it is obvious, it is easy for that prospect collector to know how to approach you and how to, buy your art. Believe it or not, I have seen artists who are hard to find, or there's no way to figure out where the art is sold, or if message them, may take forever to reply on an inquiry. So that's a put off for a collector, right? So kind of now that doesn't mean that you have to have a buy now button everywhere. You just have to make sure that as an artist, if you're selling directly, that you are clear, that it's easier to find you, that the ways in which somebody can purchase your art are easily delineated in your brand. For example, on Instagram, you can say DM me for inquiries, or on your website, you can say how you sell your art if you have it, for sale on your website, or on other platforms such as Saatchi Art or others that you may choose. Now, if you're working with a gallery, if you are represented by a gallery, then what that means is that you have to work directly and closely with your gallery, so that you can cross promote the work that the gallery is working as well, honoring the relationship that you have with the gallery, because it is very common today that the gallery is promoting the art, but then comes a collector who sees the work at the gallery or through the promotion, but then they contact the artist directly. So it's responsibility of the artist, again, to honor whatever agreements you have with your gallery, so that you don't break the trust from the gallery and vice versa, right? And again, so as the world has changed, and as the dynamics of collecting and reaching out to artists directly has changed, artists who are working with galleries, you just got to make sure that you have a strong relationship with your gallery, and that you're always in communication and cross promoting and making the best for both. And that's all I have to say. It's so interesting to me to see how the world has changed. When I look at my gallery, 33 Contemporary Gallery, we actually last September, we went full-fledged. We put all the eggs in the online sales basket. We are now directly just selling through online, specifically through rc.net. You can actually follow us at 33 Contemporary on Instagram, or if you go to rc.net, look for 33 Contemporary Gallery and just follow us there. And we are selling, a lot directly through rc.net. And it's just been a great move for us. A lot of artists moving because of it. And, in the partnerships that we have done, as well as a gallery, to continue working and growing our collector base and offering the works that we have available. So it's interesting to see, how the world is changing, how the platforms are changing, and how the collector behavior continues to change. And I think it's a trend that collectors, particularly the new wave of collectors, want transparency. They want easy communication. They want conveniency. And when a gallery or an artist can provide that and provide the trust factor, then those sales can happen a lot easier. So thanks again for watching this video, my friends. Share it with your artist friends as well. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts are. What trends have you seen on collectors in your own experience? We'd love to hear that and read that as well. Thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss Breakfast with Sergio. On Instagram, follow me at Sergio Gomez Art. On Facebook as well at Art Next Level. If you're listening to the podcast, subscribe to the podcast as well. Thank you, my friends. We'll see you later. Goodbye.